From KETK, you're watching East Texas Live.
Welcome back to East Texas Live on KETK. Joining us now is Michelle Mills. She's with the Better Business Bureau, and she's here to give a little bit of advice about headache-free home improvements, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
A lot of people are improving their homes right now, and so ever since the pandemic, we have seen an increase in people that are trying to remodel their homes. Some because they want to sell their home and they want to prepare their home, but we're seeing a lot more people are, because of the delay in lumber and things like that, they may not want to take on that big of a project, so they want to, and they're home more often because some people are working remotely, and so they're home more, so they want to make sure that where they live is as nice as it can be. So a lot of people are spending money on remodeling their homes, and that's probably not going to change this year. People are still going to spend a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, I know. I think that was kind of like a big uptick in home improvement, DIYs, remodeling, while people were spending so much time at home during the pandemic. So now my question for you is, what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to deciding to remodel your home, or maybe even hiring a contractor or anything like that?
Sure. So one of the main do's is do your homework. You're going to be spending a lot of money on this. It is worth your time to do your homework before you choose any company, and then get multiple quotes, you know, because when you get the quote, you're going to see different supplies that they're using, different quality. So make sure you get several quotes, and then make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Find a company that has a good history. Word of mouth is great, but also do that extra mile and do research, because you might talk to somebody that had a good experience, but what if 10 people had a bad experience? So make sure you go to bbb.org and find a company that you can trust. Get everything in writing. So whatever you're going to have done to your home, make sure that you have it all laid out. Make sure you know, the contractor should lay out what they're going to do, and maybe even have a timeline. And then you can use that timeline. Often they'll put a payment schedule, so as soon as this part is done, then you pay this much. If as soon as this part is done, then you pay this much. So those are some of the things that you want to do. What you don't want to do, a lot of people had a lot of damage from storms lately, and so you're really emotional about, you know, about what needs to get done. So, but try not to make emotional decisions, because you might make a decision out of haste, and you might choose somebody who's really not a great company to work with. So you really need to do that research. Never pay for everything up front. If somebody wants you to pay for the job fully up front, that is a red flag, because a lot of times what we see is people will just take your money and run. So you want to make sure that that does not happen. So don't pay it in front. What we recommend is a good plan. If you should have a schedule from your contractor, but if not, what you can do is pay a third up front, a third when it's 50% complete, and then a third when the job is completed to your satisfaction. So you want to make sure you do that. But again, you don't want to not do your research. That's the main thing.
And what are some of the things that you guys are seeing right now, maybe scams that are kind of related to these contractor businesses?
Sure, sometimes we're seeing some door-to-door scams. People are coming and you have damage to your roof, you have damage to your home from the storms. Let me come and fix this. We have some material left over from a job that we did down the street. Pay us this much, and then they're gone. Or they do really terrible work, and then they're gone because they're not even from the area. So we're seeing that, but mainly we're seeing people pay total up front, and then they either don't complete the job or they don't do anything, but they've got your money.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for those do's and don'ts. Remember those do's and don'ts if you're taking on one of these projects. We really appreciate the advice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll be back with the second half of East Texas Live in about 2 minutes, so stick with us.